Hello my dear students, this is Mrs. Shayma Gharib and today's lesson about value of tenths, hundredths and thousandths and tenths, hundredths and thousandths. Let's start by revising some rules before you watch any video. First, you have to sit in a quiet place. You should have your pen and a piece of paper to take notes and to solve questions. You should pause the video after each question, then you try to answer on your own. Then you play the video to check your answer and to understand the question in case you get a wrong answer. Are you ready? Let's start. Value. Look at this number here. It's number 34.278. As you can see, the value of each digit in a number is getting smaller from left to right. Let's see how. What is the value of the digit 3 here? It's in the tens place, then its value is 30. The digit 4 here, its value is 4 because it's in the units place or in the ones place. And then I started the decimal part of the number. So the first decimal place, which is the tenths, the value of the digit 2 in the tenth place is 0.2 or 2 tenths. And the value of the digit 7 is 7 hundredths, which is 0.07. And the value of the digit 8, which is 8 thousandths, will be 0.008. And remember that the value of the 0 is always 0. So as you can see here, in any number, the value is getting smaller from left to right. Now, let's start to find the meaning of some values. If I have the word tenths beside any number, the word tenths means I multiply this number by 10. When I have a whole number and I want to multiply it by 10, if you remember, we just add 1 0 to the number. And if I have a decimal number and I want to multiply it by 10, I move the decimal point one place to the direction that makes the number bigger, which is the right. So let's solve some examples. If I said 3 tenths, it means 3 times 10, which is number 30. Or I can easily cross out the word tenths and put 0 instead, so it will be 30. 47 tenths means multiply the 47 by 10. So I can cross the word tenths and I put 1 0 instead of it. 301 tenths, I will do exactly the same, multiplied by 10, which means add 0. So it will be 3010. So you can easily cross the word 10 in each number and put 0 instead of it. Okay, what if I have hundreds? What do you think? Hundreds means multiply by 100. So when I multiply a whole number by 100, I just add 2 zeros to the number. If I have a decimal number, I just move the decimal point 2 places to the right. So let's see some examples. 3 hundredths means 3 times 100. So I can cross the word hundreds and I add 2 zeros instead. So it will be 300. If I have 47 hundredths, I will multiply the 47 by 100. So it will be 4,700. I can just cross out the hundreds and put 2 zeros. 301 hundredths, so I will do exactly the same by adding 2 zeros. And if I have a decimal number, for example, 2.35, we said we are going to move the decimal point 2 places to the right. So when I move this decimal point 1, 2, so it will give me 235. Now, the word thousands, what do you think? It will be multiply the number by 1000, which means I will add 3 zeros to the number. And if I have a decimal number, I will add a decimal point. I will move the decimal point 3 places. Let's see examples. 3,000, 3 times 1,000, which is 3 thousandths, or I can cross the word thousandths and I will put 3 zeros. 47 thousandths, I will do exactly the same, so it will be 47 thousandths. 301 thousandths, I will do exactly the same, so it will be 301 thousandths. If I have a decimal number, for example 6.23 thousandths, I will multiply this number by 1000, which means I will move the decimal point 3 places to the right. So when I multiply, I move the decimal point to the right. 1, 2, and I don't have a third place, so I will put a 0 as a placeholder. So my answer will be 6,230. Now, let's talk about the tenth. And the tenth is the first decimal place, and it means I divide the number by 10. When we divide the number by 10, it means if I have a whole number, I will put a decimal point after one place. And if I have a decimal number, it means I will move the decimal point 1 place to the left. So 3/10 means 3 divided by 10. So when you divide a whole number by 10, it's getting smaller by 1 place, which means I put a decimal point after 1 place. So it will be 0.3. 47/10 means the 47 divided by 10. So I will add a decimal point after 1 place, so it will be 4.7. 301/10, I will do exactly the same. So the word tenth, every time, it means I will divide my number by 10. I will add a decimal point after 1 place, then it will be 30.1. What if I have a decimal number? So when you divide a decimal number by 10, I move the decimal point 1 place to the left. So the decimal point will be here. So when I divide the 24.6 by 10, I will move the decimal point 1 place to the left, then it will be 2.46. The number is getting smaller. And the word hundredths, it means I will divide my number by 100, which means I'm going to put a decimal point after 2 places if I have a whole number, or I will move the decimal point 2 places to the left if I have a decimal number. 300ths means 3 divided by 10. So when we put a decimal point after 2 places, or we move the decimal point, as you know, the whole numbers, we don't write the decimal point, but it is there just right after the units. So when you move it 2 places to the left, you will get 0.03. Okay? If I have 47 hundredths, this means 47 divided by 100, we are going to add the decimal point after 2 places, or we are going to move the decimal point from this place to 2 places to the left, so it will be 0.47. 301 hundredths, I will do exactly the same, so it will be 3.01. You put a decimal point after 2 places, or you move it from here 2 places to the left, so it will be 3.01. If I have a decimal number already, so I have the decimal point, then I will move it 2 places to the left because I divide by 100, so it will be 0.246. Now, let's talk about the thousands. Thousands means we divide the number by 1000. If I have a whole number, then it should have 3 decimal places after dividing, or I move the decimal point 3 places to the left. Let's see examples. 3000s, I can move the decimal point 3 places, then I will put 2 zeros here, so it will be 3 divided by 1000, which is 0.003. 47,000s, I will do exactly the same. I will add a decimal point after 3 places, or I will move the hidden decimal point here 3 places, then it will be 0.047. 301,000s, I will do exactly the same. I will divide the number by 1000. So whenever I see the word thousands, I divide the number by 1000 to get its value. Then the number will be 0.301. 24.6 thousandths, 24.6 divided by 1000, move the decimal point 3 places, it will be 0.0246. So let's move the decimal point 1, 2, then 3. So I will put a 0 here because I don't have a digit in this place. So it will be 0.0246. Now let's see some questions. Are you ready? Write the value of the following. We have some numbers here and we need to write its value as a decimal number. 19 tenths, we said the word tenths means I will multiply by 10, or I will cross the word tenths and put 0. Then my answer will be 190. 32 hundredths means multiply by 100, or I can cross the word hundreds out and I put 2 zeros. Then my answer will be 3,200. 8.7 thousandths. Thousandths means multiply by 1000. When I multiply by 1000, if it is a whole number, I will add 3 zeros. But this here is a decimal number, then I will move the decimal point 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3, and I will put 2 zeros here. So it will be 8,700. 91 tenths. Tenths means divide by 10. So I will put a decimal point after 1 place. Then my answer will be 9.1. 22 hundredths. Hundredths means divide by 100. So which means I will put a decimal point after 2 places. So it will be 0.22. 16 thousandths. I will divide the 16 by 1000. Which means I will put a decimal point after 3 places. I only have 2, so I will move 1, 2, and the third place I will put 0. So it will be 0.016. 5 thousandths, I will divide by 1000. I will do exactly the same. Then it will be 0.005. Move the decimal point 3 places, 1, 2, 3, then put the decimal point and 2 zeros in the places as a placeholder. Write the value of the following. Look at these 2 examples. I have here 19 tenths. What the meaning of 19 tenths? It's number 190. 14 hundredths. What is this number? 14 hundredths, 0.14. So these 2 numbers together will give me 190.14. Now let's look at the second example. 12 hundredths. What the meaning of 12 hundredths? It's 12, then 0, 0, 1,200. What about 15 thousandths? It's 0.015. 5. I will divide it by 1000. So when I add them together, it will be 1200 and 15 thousandths or 0.015. Now look at this example, 27 tenths plus 6 hundredths. 27 tenths. The word tenths means divide by 10. So it will be number 2.7. 6 hundredths is 0.06. So these two numbers together make 2.7 and 6 in the hundredths place. So it will be 2.76. Now look at this example, 95 tenths plus 32 hundredths. 95 tenths means number 9.5. 32 hundredths is 0.32. So when we add these two numbers, now let's look at the units. Or let's start from the smallest value, which is the hundredths. I have 2 in the hundredths and I have here nothing in the hundredths. So in the hundredths place, there will be 2. What about the tenths place? I have 3 in the tenths place and 5 in the tenths place. Then there will be 8 in the tenths place. Then the decimal point. And what about the units? As it is 9 and 0, so it will be 9. Then my final answer will be 9.82. 22 hundredths, which is 0.22. 66 thousandths, which is 0.066. Okay, so now let's start from the thousandths place. I have 6 in the thousandths place and nothing in the thousandths place here, which means 0. So in the thousandths place, there will be number 6. In the hundredths place, I have 6 and I have here 2. Then they are 8. In the tenths place, I have 0 and 2. So it will be 2 in the tenths place. Then my number will be 0.286. Now look at this example. 23 hundredths. So 23 hundredths is number 2, 3, and 0, 0. 6 ones, which means number 6. 7 tenths means 0.7. 8 thousandths means 0.008. So now let's find out what number is it. So let's start by the thousandths place. I have here 8, nothing, no thousandths here and no thousandths here. Then in the thousandths place, I will be having a number 8. What about the hundredths place? I have 0 in the hundredths. I have nothing in the hundredths here, which is 0. And no hundredths here. So in the hundredths place, there will be 0. What about the tenths place? I have 0 here in the tenths place. And I have 7 in the tenths place. And no more tenths places here. So there will be 7 in the tenth place. Now, the decimal point. I have the units place or the ones place. This is number 2000. Let's look at the whole number. 2306, which means 2306. So my final answer will be 2306.708. This is the end of our lesson today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any question, please feel free to leave a comment and I will answer you as soon as possible. Please remember that your feedback is highly appreciated. Thank you very much and have a nice day.